Hi students! Welcome back to Mathematics 8 online class. Objectives. At the end of this video lesson, you are expected to recall learned knowledge on conditional statements, identify the hypothesis and the conclusion of the given statement, and construct conditional, converse, inverse, and contrapositive statements. Review. Conditional statement is a statement formed by joining two statements. One is the hypothesis and the other is the conclusion, using the word if-then. Hypothesis is denoted by small letter p and the conclusion is denoted by small letter q. The format in writing conditional statement is if p, then q. Hypothesis tells whether the statement is proven to be true or false. Conclusion is an evaluation of the underlying theory or idea of the hypothesis. In science, we also have hypothesis and conclusion. Hypothesis is an assumption or an educated guess to be proven to be true through experimentations. Conclusion is a statement based on the result of the experimentation. In English, this is also cause and effect. In Filipino, sanhi at bunga. Our topic is conditional, converse, inverse, contrapositive statement. From the conditional statement, we can create three statements based from the conditional statements, namely converse, inverse, and contrapositive. We already know the format in constructing conditional statement. If P, then Q. In symbols, we have P implies Q. For converse statement, we will switch the position of P and Q. The format is if Q, then P. In symbols, Q implies P. For inverse statement, P and Q will remain on the same position, but we are going to negate them. The format is if not P, then not Q. In symbols, we have, this is read as negation of P implies negation of Q. And for the contrapositive, the format is if not Q, then not P. In symbols, negation of Q implies negation of P. Let's have examples. Instruction. Identify the hypothesis and the conclusion, then construct the converse, inverse, and contrapositive statements for the following conditional statements. Number 1. The conditional statement is if an integer is negative, then it is less than 0. The format for the conditional statement is if P, then Q. First, let's identify the hypothesis and the conclusion. P is an integer is negative. Q, it is less than 0. Let's construct the converse statement in the format if Q, then P. So, is it if it is less than 0, then an integer is negative? That's correct, but it is better this way. Let's identify the subject and the predicate in our P and Q statements. In P, the subject is an integer. The predicate is negative. In Q, the subject is it, and the predicate is less than 0. In switching P and Q, we will only interchange the predicate. So the answer is, if an integer is less than 0, then it is negative. Next, for the inverse statement, the format is, if not P, then not Q. We need the negation of P and the negation of Q. The negation of P is, not an integer is negative? No. Usually, you will put the word not after the linking verb or on the part of the predicate. So, the negation of P is, an integer is not negative. And the negation of Q is, it is not less than 0. So, our inverse statement is, if an integer is not negative, then it is not less than 0. And for the contrapositive statement, follow the format, if not Q, then not P. The answer is, if an integer is not less than 0, then it is not negative. Number 2. The conditional statement is, if a polygon is triangle, then it has 3 sides. Let's identify P and Q. A polygon is a triangle. That is our P. And Q is, it has 3 sides. Let's construct the converse statement. The format is, if Q, then P. So let's interchange the predicate of our P and Q. The converse statement is, if a polygon has 3 sides, then it is a triangle. For the inverse statement, the format is, if not P, then not Q. Our negation of P is, a polygon is not a triangle. And the negation of Q is, it does not have 3 sides. So our inverse statement is, if a polygon is not a triangle, then it does not have 3 sides. And for the contrapositive statement, the format is, if not Q, then not P. Our statement is, if a polygon does not have 3 sides, then it is not a triangle. Number 3. Our conditional statement is, if 2 lines are parallel, then they do not intersect. The P here is, 2 lines are parallel. And the Q is, they do not intersect. For the converse statement, just follow the format, if Q, then P. So the converse statement is, if 2 lines do not intersect, then they are parallel. For the inverse statement, we need the negation of P and the negation of Q. The negation of P is, 2 lines are not parallel. But how about the negation of Q? Our Q statement is already a negative statement. So is it, they do not intersect? In operation of integers, not is just like negative times negatives, which results to positive. So, in negating a negative statement, simply make it positive statement. So, instead of writing, they do not intersect, just write, they intersect. So the inverse statement is, if two lines are not parallel, then they intersect. For the contrapositive statement, follow the format if not Q, then not P. Our statement is, if two lines intersect, then they are not parallel. Number 4. So give what is asked based on the given statement. The given statement is an inverse statement. If 2x plus 5 is not equal to 7, then x is not equal to 1. We are asked to find the conditional statement. So we know that the format of the inverse statement is negation of P implies negation of Q, or if not P, then not Q. So this is the not P, or the negation of P. And this is the negation of Q. So for the conditional statement, let's make it a positive statement. So we have P implies Q. If 2x plus 5 equals 7, then x equals 1. Number 5. The given statement is a converse statement. If you live in Pasig, then you live in San Joaquin. We are asked to give the contrapositive statement. The format of converse is Q implies P. Our Q here is you live in Pasig. Then, you live in San Joaquin is the P. So for the contrapositive statement, follow the format negation of Q implies negation of P. The negation of Q is you don't live in Pasig. And the negation of P is you don't live in San Joaquin. Our contrapositive statement is, if you don't live in Pasig, then you don't live in San Joaquin. Again, this is the format in constructing conditional, converse, inverse, and contrapositive statement. Before we end this video, let me share this. The law of karma is also called the law of cause and effect. It is also called action and reaction. In other words, as you sow, so you reap. If you do good, then you will receive a good karma. I hope you learned from this video. Thank you for watching.